Okay, I think I'm live. Is it working? Oh dear. Um, I think it's working. If people can hear and or see me, let me know in chat. Got some ice water. Got some mate tea. Okay, it's working. Supposedly. This is my second time using Restream to stream to Twitch and YouTube. I saw there were a lot of people waiting in the YouTube chat. Maybe a couple people waiting in the Twitch chat. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Good to see people. So today is going to be probably a more chill stream than last stream I did. Last stream was Title Tuesday. It was intense. Had some ups and downs. Today is going to be Monthly Classical Arena, which actually started about 3 hours ago. So I'm late joining. And the goal is not to win the tournament, but to play some hopefully instructive games, hopefully more chill games. Time control is 20 minutes with a 10-second increment. Playing Super Brie, who not sure if they're watching the stream. I know they do attend a lot of these live streams. Good luck. I think the last few times I played Super Brie, I've been black because we've had some Catalan battles. Yeah, we can see the previous checkmates I've had. I'm going to get the London out of my system. I'm not sure if this will be a promise, but this might be the only London game I play at this stream. We see b6 on move 2, which is very playable. And actually, rather than playing the traditional like triangle formation, against this specifically, I like to go for c4. Grab a bit more space. And I played this against many strong players. I was going to say that most players play e6 or g6. d6 is also playable. Usually g6 will follow. I'll play knight c3. And there's a really important detail with the move order that I'm choosing here. Because very often players will play e3 early, but I'm delaying e3 because it's very possible I'll go for queen c2 and e4 and just take over the center. And against this setup specifically, I think this is going to be a nice plan. Wait, change title. Did the title get messed up? I think it's okay on, hopefully on both platforms. With multi-streaming, there's more room to like mess up something, but can always change it later too. Okay, so g6, I'll play queen c2. Yeah, I've had this position a good number of times in the past. Probably go for e4. Very often rook d1 is nice to align with a black queen. Oh, I see Super Brie was in chat who said, I will mute now. So, okay, that's probably good to know I'm not getting stream sniped, at least in the present moment. Do I want to play e4 or rook d1? I'm not sure if it matters. I'll play e4 right away. Also, thank you to the Twitch subs. Got Tuzajin, tier 2 at 42 months. Kev McG, 43 months. Some long time subs. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is the first game of the stream. I've not played classical chess on Lichess in a while. I think if this were OTB, this would still be considered rapid, though. But online, it's relatively slow. Yeah, it is difficult to address like everyone in both chats, but let me know where you're watching from. I see Alabama, Netherlands. This should be a decently European-friendly time. Maybe evening in probably most parts of Europe. All right, I'll play bishop e2. So if knight d7, then rook d1 is a nice way to discourage this pawn e5 break. We got Belgium, Mars, Antarctica. Okay. Nice diversity of locations. So c5. I think d5 is just the principal move here. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to take, or especially not to leave the tension, because black doesn't want to take in e5. So yeah, d5 it is. So blocking this bishop. This bishop does have some long-term power. And now it's basically a Benoni. Benoni is defined by essentially this pawn structure. I have the space advantage. A lot of ways to improve. Sometimes a4, sometimes a3, b4. Thank you to Mr. Kiyoshi, subbing for 3 months. Oh, we got a lot more locations. St. Louis, India, Montreal, India, Ireland, Scotland, UK. Planet Claire, I don't know what that is. Maybe a different planet. Switzerland, Mauritius, Egypt. For anyone that's in St. Louis next week, I'll be doing some in-person commentary at the St. Louis Chess Club. It'll be the 3 days of the Champions Showdown, featuring 6 super GMs. Should be super fun. And I'm also going to be interviewing the players on the official broadcast for the St. Louis Chess Club. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but it should also be fun. And Kikaru, Fabiano, Wesley, Levon, Aronian. Also, does black want to play b5? I don't think so, because then I take. Yeah, let's just castle. b5 might still be playable. Very often, if black wants some kind of Banco gambit, they sack the pawn for the open file. But I think in this case, it's just probably better for white. Oh, thank you, Emberg, for the super chat too. I did update my alert box, so we're getting Twitch and YouTube alerts. Oh no, my reading skills. Oh, about the title. No worries. Also, thank you, Elite Board Panda, first time Prime. So I have some time advantage, up 3 minutes. Yeah, it's possible my opponent is already out of their comfort zone. Like sometimes when, especially when you play b6 in this position, you're going for a Queen's Indian and maybe not quite a Benoni. And Queen's Indian is a different structure with like e6, b6. So we do see b5. Yeah, I'm just going to take the pawn. I think black is probably going for long-term compensation. Maybe apply gradual pressure against these pawns. Okay, bishop a6. So now it's a question how I try and just hold everything together. Don't want to give black counterplay. There's a very typical idea to play knight d2 to c4. I'm not sure if black actually has a threat here. Is this a threat? Knight takes e4. Queen takes e4, takes. It would win a pawn, but that's a good trade. Get rid of this bishop. I can't really avoid the trade of these bishops, which I think is okay. I'm leaning towards starting with this move. Reinforce the pawn. Prepare knight c4. If takes, I take. Everything should be solid. Another thing to watch out for is this move, knight h5. Hitting the bishop and unleashing the beast on g7. But b2 is defended in all the lines. There's a question, is it against the rules to analyze your opponent's last games to see what openings they play once the game starts? I think once the game starts, then you can't really check any outside information. At least on Lead Chess, the only thing you can check is like what happened in the previous games. But yeah, it's almost certainly against the rules to start checking their openings, even like before making your first move. But there are cases like, especially in over-the-board tournaments, where you know your opponent several hours before the game begins, then you should like check all their games and prepare some opening. That's an interesting question, though. Like for Title Tuesday, if we knew our opponents like before the round started, then I think it would be legal. Okay, so we do see knight h5. Wait a minute, did I mess up? Because there's this idea. Ooh. I think it's okay. I think I have takes. I probably should have been a bit more careful. There's also bishop g5 here. Yeah, there's some weird lines. Even bishop g3, let's imagine. Bishop g3, takes. Black maybe wins back the pawn. So first of all, if takes, I'm happy. If takes... Wait a minute. Bishop g3 takes. Oh, I'm just losing a piece there. So I have to take this bishop, I think. And we're basically trading... I lose this bishop. All right, I lose, I guess, one of my bishops. Black could either take this or this. Yeah, I definitely should have been more careful. But again, this should be fine. Better be fine. I think that was my only move. Now, inherently, this bishop should be more valuable for me because my center pawns are on light squares. So I think positionally, it probably makes more sense to take on f4. But then I guess the drawback for black of taking on f4 is the knight gets a little bit awkward. Because it's undefended, it can't really do anything. I'll play bishop c4 probably. And eventually the knight might be chased to the edge. Now this move probably takes my less valuable bishop, but it does aim to improve the knight and harass my queen. So black has a decision to make. Yeah, with this time control, it's definitely a balance between slowing down and like taking your time, especially when there's like critical moments, but still requires to manage time and like move quickly enough to avoid time pressure. So black takes on f4. Yeah, I think it's really a choice between bishop c4 or bishop b5. Originally I was thinking bishop c4, but bishop e5 actually might make more sense. Because it does a better job maybe attempting to restrict the knights. And there's the idea to eventually play a4 and just create a very solid construction between the pawn and bishop. Maybe someday bishop c6 as well. And I also leave the c4 square for the knight. So, yeah, the one thing I have to watch out for is like weird things, but the bishop always covers e2. Yeah, let's go for this. Yeah, I'm happy I slowed down there. I think a lot of players might just play the first move that comes to mind, but sometimes you have to weigh the pros and cons, even of moves that look very similar. Thank you to Unrivaled Super Hottie, subbing for 32 months on Twitch. So I'm not sure if I'll play the whole tournament. Over 2.5 hours to go. Definitely try and get in a good handful of games. Maybe try and break 2,500. Hopefully not fall below 2,400. I think the ideal setup is like a4, knight c4. Probably throw in rook e1. And it's so hard for black to actually like attack anything effectively on the queen side. I see the comment from Naund6. Hey Eric, hyped to meet you in Greece in May. Yeah, for those that don't know, I will be going to Greece in May for the World Amateur Chess Championships. It's on the Greek island of Kos, May 6th through 15th. Sharing information in both chats. I'll share the link to more information in both chats. Thank you, Ponziani Enjoyer. Maybe we'll get a Ponziani today. Not this game. Can you do custom emotes on YouTube? I think you can, but I would have to enable memberships, and I'll have to look into it. It might be possible to just do it free of charge too. Also, big thank you to Cherup, the $13.99 Canadian dollars. Appreciate the support and the words. Queen a5. Okay, so black is threatening to take and then take. A very simple removal of the guard tactic. So that's why I think a4 is just an easy move here. There are some weird lines like takes. Let's imagine a4 takes. I guess I could take with pawn. Kind of wondering about takes and then takes, and I win the queen, but I lose a queen. But then maybe I win the rook in the end. It's not worth digging into that because I have pawn takes, which is solid. So I'm establishing. This isn't really called an outpost. If it was a knight on b5, it would be called an outpost. But it is a minor piece defended by a pawn. That's super, super solid. I'm reading the full message from Cherub. I appreciate your kind words about me. Levy is actually a good friend of mine, so I know some people, or not everyone watches his content, but some people do like his content too. It's good to have multiple personalities in the chess world. I am due for a new speed run. The coming month is going to be really busy for me. I'm doing a lot of work for the St. Louis Chess Club, not only for the Champions event, but also for the American Cup. So hopefully I'll start a speed run, or the new speed run, like towards the end of March. Thank you, Leo Spaceman. Happy 34 months. Pawn Benatar, happy 5 months. Oh, asking if I would sign a duck. Might be better to like find the next in-person event I'm doing near you. My 2 in-person events coming up are St. Louis and Greece. And probably some things over the summer as well. Queen b4. Wow. This queen is chilling in my crib. It's actually a very typical idea that you see in Benoni and Benko, especially after a4. I don't have a3. I mean, maybe I can just hug the queen. Knight c4. Threatening knight a2. The hug of death. Wait, let's calculate. Knight c4. Such a nice square. Defends b2. Covers a retreating square. Blocks the queen this way. Defended by the bishop. And how does black stop knight a2? Oh, there's tactics. Wow, there's a deep line. Okay, this is where I go full focus and probably ignore chat for the next few minutes. Knight c4, bishop takes c3. Pawn takes c3, queen takes c3. Again, we're seeing this tactical theme of black luring me into a fork. King h1 takes. I thought I had knight b6 in the end, but I don't think that's anything special. Because there's rook a7, even rook a5. What if I play g3 first? There's still this? No, because I cover e2. Okay. So I want to do this, but I don't think it works because of takes, 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 or takes and then check. My bishop's blocked. But if I play g3 first, black doesn't have the same tactics. I cover e2. The knight will be forced here or here. If it moves to h3, then king g2, knight g5, and then knight c4. And then I'm threatening knight a2. If takes, the pawn attacks the queen is trapped. I think it's the same thing. Like if the knight moves to h5, then okay, I don't play king g2, I just play knight c4. And again, the queen is either getting trapped with knight a2 or takes. Rook a5 never works. Rook a4 never works. I think g3 is a move to play. I'm going to do it. Now, there's a book that I really enjoyed. I used to go through a lot of the exercises a few years ago. It essentially helped me get from FM to IM. It's called Imagination in Chess. Probably not a book I recommend for like the average amateur player, but it is a good book if you're like 2000, 2200 plus. And there's a section in the book called Reciprocal Thinking. The book is broken down into different types of thought processes. Anyway, reciprocal thinking is when you have an idea, but the idea doesn't work for a reason. So before you execute your initial idea, which was knight c4, you have to play some other move to allow your idea to work, which was g3. So I'm hoping this works out pretty cleanly. I'm pretty sure it does. I think now the queen is probably regretting its life decisions. Being hugged a little bit too tightly. Okay, let me do my best to catch up with whatever happened. Oh, there were some super chats, or also some resub. Thank you, streams on Twitch, requesting a Dutch. Yeah, I'll be very open to opening recommendations. Between games, I'll ask what people want to see. Dutch and Ponziani are the two top of mind. Super chat from Restu, Suhendar. 20,000 Indonesian rupiah. I always play Grand Prix and Ponziani because of you. Okay, that's nice to hear. Two of my favorite E4 openings. There's a super chat from Philip Bozic. 250 RSD, which I don't know what that is. Who said Eric beat them all. I'm trying to teach them all to hopefully provide some lessons in the beatings. I don't see any way for black to escape. I'm not sure if there's even a way to like sack material so the queen can survive. Like rook a4, the queen is trapped. Takes, again, the queen is just trapped. Like this might already be resignable. I do sometimes have a habit though of celebrating too early and then missing an opponent's resource. Oh, there's also a super chat from Xerox. Any good opening advice for a 500 elo player trying to push to 1,000 elo? At that level, you don't need to study too many openings. Because usually the opening won't determine the game. It's more about tactics, avoiding blunders, managing your time, seeing the whole board clearly. All right, knight a2. But openings in chess, it's maybe one of the easier areas to learn because you can memorize just a few opening moves. But I think it's probably better, especially at the lower levels, to understand principles. Like regardless of the opening that you play, you want to develop your minor pieces as quickly as possible, control the center, try and get harmony among your setup, get your king safe. Also look for vulnerabilities in your opponent's position. If your opponent's being aggressive, you have to always be super aware of what they're attacking. In this case, my opponent's probably aware of what I'm attacking, but can't really do much about it. Queen e1. This move almost broke me, but okay. Wasn't sure which rook to take with. All right, GG. A feel-good game. Hopefully some lessons to take away from that game. Lee Chess says, I played pretty cleanly. One inaccuracy. A knight d2 is not the best move. Even though it's pretty thematic. Very common for this opening. Yeah, I think objectively e6 is just better here compared to d6 or g6. If I've committed to e3, then it's probably fine to go for the King's Indian setup, but yeah, I got the center, already a bit unpleasant. I did miss knight h5 though. Yeah, I guess knight d2 was a mistake because of missing this resource. Then it worked out nicely. And yeah, this was a nice calculation, g3. Just to show if I play knight c4 too early, then it's actually still like almost winning for white, but not as winning. I'd have to find some weird queen d1 move. Okay. Well, moving on. Gain some rating from that game. GG to Super Bree. Okay, what opening to play next? I've gotten the London out of my system. French, Smith-Mora, Pearts, Grunfeld. All of those are black openings. French, Smith-Mora. Okay, I'll play a French, how about? It's the first one I read. I could transpose into Sicilian. Maybe get a Taimana, but I'll stick with the typical French. So knight f3 it's playable. I wonder if my opponent's going to go for a wing gambit. Sometimes what I like to play. d4 is also playable here. Like takes and then bishop d3 I think is a cool gambit as well. There's also like the King's Indian plan of g3 bishop g2, which is not quite a gambit. My opponent is slowing down, so they might not be super well prepared here. Oh, maybe they haven't played too much. Oh, they actually played mostly classical. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think this is one reason. Like at this rating level, knowing so much opening theory isn't super relevant because players will sometimes do random things, and if you're like just learning the French, you might not get this position too often. That's still good to know the ideas of like expand, especially with the c5 move, look to play knight c6. And then the very typical break, like later in the middle game, is to play f6 and challenge the pawn in e5. I guess white could try c3 and then transpose into an advanced variation. We see bishop b5. So I have a choice between bishop d7, knight c6, knight d7, or bomb cloud, or sack the queen. I think knight c6 is just most natural. Bishop d7 would be my second choice, but there is a reason why I don't want to trade the bishop, even though this is usually black's worst piece in the French. There is a potential trap here, which I'm not sure if I'll get. I wanted to play this and then take. And c4 is kind of interesting. Hmm. Now I want to play a6, but the resulting structure after takes isn't so appealing. Double pawns aren't great. So I think it's a choice between like bishop d7 or knight e7. Go for knight e7. I do block this bishop, but one plan is to play a6, provoke the trade, and then be happy. But both of us are almost certainly out of our opening prep. Not the typical like setup you see from white against the French. I'm just trying to play like practical moves. How many dogs do you have? I mean, there's been 2 dogs that have made appearances on my streams, but I don't own any dogs myself. I sometimes dog sit for a friend's dog and for my parents' dog. Okay, I think I want to play a6. d4 would be a bit overextending because then I give white the e4 square, and it could run into big problems. If white retreats, and I think I just take here and then look to play b5 and expand. There is a potential funny line. Bishop a4, d takes c4, knight e4, b5, knight d6, king d7. I do get forks. Queen e8, knight h8. But then I take the bishop. Wow, we could enter it. It looks risky though. Hmm. How much fun do I want to have? Takes 94, b5. So the problem is, like, after takes 94, it's kind of hard to stop this move. Like, the only way to stop it is to move my knight, let's say, to f5. So takes 94, knight f5. And then that allows white to take on c6, triple my pawns. And then queen a4 comes. I guess I do have queen d5 there. But then knight c3. I have to lose either c4 or c6. Okay, so let's calculate the main line. Takes 94, b5, knight d6, king d7. White could save the bishop. How do I defend f7? Like, if I take, there's takes, and I get triple forked. Honestly, I might just save myself the trouble and play bishop d7. Well, I really want to take, though. I have another idea. I take knight e4, knight d5. So unleashing the bishop, bishop c6, pawn c6, queen a4, and then I play knight b4, saving both pawns. And threatening knight d3 maybe. It's tricky to evaluate. There's a3, and then queen d3, preventing castling, attacking the knight. Knight d6. I take. Or no, take. I guess the pawn would take. Otherwise, I play knight c2. Let's take. Let's have some fun. In between one of these lines, I should be able to hopefully make something work. I think it's the type of position, like if it were like a very serious over-the-board classical game, I'd probably take at least like 10 to 15 minutes. Really try and be sure of like what's happening after 94. If white doesn't play this, then I think the position is very easy. Because then I'll either have b5 or like if white trades, then there's really nothing to worry about. But I think the most promising line, like after knight e4, is this knight d5 move. Because d3 is just such a nice square. Like, if I get my knight to d3, life is so good. Even to b4. So here, take, queen a4, knight b4. What if white just castles? Just a very confusing position. I do have queen d3. Like, I think there's some cases where I wind up with triple pawns, but I keep all of them defended. And they're actually, like, they could be powerful because they control a lot of squares. This bishop might have a hard time developing. Have you ever been mad at the chess game? I don't get too angry at chess games. I've definitely been disappointed in myself. When I was younger, I really didn't like losing, but over time you realize it's part of the game. That's how you learn and improve. Do the arrows help you think slash visualize, or are they just for the viewers? Um, I'd say they're mostly for the viewers. Although sometimes when I like really slow down and draw the arrows, then it does help in some sense with visualization. But I think if I were playing seriously on my own, I would not be drawing arrows. I'd just be thinking. Because then it just takes more effort to like physically draw the arrows. And over the board, you don't really have the luxury of like taking a Sharpie out and drawing all over the board. Even a dry erase marker. Oh, thank you, Vikas Chikamoth. The first super chat. I don't know what currency that is, but it's 40 something. Thanks so much. Do top GMs still read chess books to learn? Or do they do their own analysis slash studying? I think some GMs still will use books for training. There's definitely like a category of chess books that are aimed for like very serious players or very high level players. Like a lot of books by Jacob Agard are probably targeted for like master level plus, like through grandmaster level. Okay, so white played the move I was not expecting. Knight g5. Opponent wants to checkmate me. But this gives me time to play b5. Just have to make sure that if the queen moves to peer here, I have defensive resources. Which I should. Like, very least I take the pawn. Imagine b5. Oh, b5, queen f3. I take the pawn, I lose a rook. Oh, this line is also spicy. b5, queen f3. I'm trying to wrap my mind around knight f5. Wait, there's also b5, queen f3. It's not mate. My king has this square, so I could maybe take the bishop. I maybe get forked, though. Oh, thank you, Vikas, with another 20-something super chat. That's super complicated. So b5. It's a dream move to just solidify everything, but not everything is actually solid. I have f6? f6 or f5, there's en passant, takes. I probably have to get my hands dirty. b5, queen f3. So knight f5. Defending and attacking, but leaving this knight undefended. So imagine queen takes c6. I do have bishop d7, blocking the check and defending my rook. And attacking the queen. And still this and this are hanging. And then queen, I guess queen either e4 or f3. And if I take the knight, I lose a rook. So I probably take the bishop. Then I have to evaluate like what's happening there. I would be up a pawn. I think it's actually pretty good for black. Because there's potential for rook c8 and bishop c6. Light squares should be very, very much in black's control. Well, let's go for it. A really fascinating game. Like, even though my opponent's not so high rated, they've been playing very creatively. Like bishop b5, c4, and then knight g5. I mean, maybe not objectively like good for white, but super interesting. Hey, it's Nathan F. Welcome back. Happy 3 years. I think it's been more than 3 years, but good to see you. Does the chess gene run in your family? I think I have a great uncle who is a master, but who I never met. Yeah, at some point, like we were trying to track down like any records of this uncle, who I think played for the Oxford chess team. We reached out to like the Oxford University to like try and find like any historical records of chess games, but I don't think any were found. My older brother taught me chess. He knows the rules, but he doesn't play competitively. What is this opening called? I think it's just called the French defense. And then this, I'd be very surprised if this specifically has a name. If white did something else, like this would have been the wing gambit. This could have been the advanced. This is now new territory, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this could be named after my opponent now. The sliding windows variation. Windows are in the process of sliding. Yeah, this looks way too risky. But there's still options here. I mean, this, and this are my candidate moves. I think f6 is just bad. I mean, sacking the rook does look interesting. I mean, the problem is to win back the piece, I damage the structure. Unlike last game, I don't think I'm trapping the queen. Do I have to worry about knight takes b5? Takes. Ooh. Knight's still hanging, but yeah, that might actually be a concern. Wait, knight f5, knight takes b5. I didn't calculate previously. An idea would be if I take, this knight's just gonna fall. I have bishop d7. Bishop takes c6. Like rook a7, maybe rook c8. Take. Oh, black's just worse there. Wow. I might have to revert to something else. Maybe I should look into this line takes. So first of all, if knight takes queen d3, there's knight d6, king d7. I think I'm safe there. There's also this line, queen f7, king d7. That position really gets iffy. Queen a5. The thing is, I don't see any like knockout blow for white. e5 is a bit weak. So take here. There's also queen takes, but then here. But if here I just take the queen, okay. I'm leaning towards taking the bishop. It was not my first intention. Take there. I just don't see how white punishes me. Knight takes, I have queen d3, the knight will get trapped. I might regret this. Doing it. Oh no, my f-pawn. Getting extra spicy. White has a choice now. It's actually not the most obvious choice. Opponent might take some time here. Welcome back, Singirda. Thanks for the bits. Yeah, pawns are a little bit broken. Although I haven't lost a pawn yet. Almost certainly losing a pawn next move, though. So yeah, I mean, I try and follow this sort of philosophy in chess where if I see a line that looks really risky, but I don't see like the clear concrete problem with it, then I still go for it. Sometimes I'll miss something, but that's how I learn. And sometimes like I won't see anything for the opponent and everything will work out. Hopefully that's what happens in this case. I mean, white has, again, two options. I just want to weather the storm. Like it's a small hurricane, maybe just a tropical storm. Like white will have the initiative for maybe a few more moves, and then hopefully I can rebuild my my shelter, my structure. King will probably take refuge on the queen side. I could end up losing some pawns, like does threaten to take on c5 and threatens my queen. And to be honest, like queen a5 was basically the end of my calculation. And now I'm actually realizing, yeah, white might have a strong move after queen a5. I should have probably gone a bit deeper. But maybe it's still okay. There'll definitely be a lot to analyze after this game. Yeah, I think I have to play queen a5. If I play this and knight takes c5 and I lose my queen, this runs into knight a4. Now, the move that I missed here for white isn't super obvious. There's probably a bunch of candidate moves for white. Yeah, this could get really, really messy. But I am up material. I have a bishop for a pawn. And I am threatening to take on e5. Which would then threaten the queen. Wow. Okay, the move that I was kind of more scared of was knight takes a4. The tactic that there's a fork. But this has the same idea, taking on c5. So now, yeah, this could turn into a huge mess. It's already a huge mess. Like my king's on d7. It has no legal moves. I think I have to take here. I actually don't think there's another option. Wait, is my bishop hanging? My bishop was hanging. We were both oblivious to that. Just realizing the bishop was just hanging there. All right, we'll just pretend it didn't happen. Except it's still, yeah, it's still trapped. I can't move this either. But okay, I can take the pawn. If takes, just calmly move. No, I probably have to move here. Just take back. I go down material. But then I get initiative. Yeah. Wait, one more time. Knight c5. King c7. And if this knight c5, king c6. There's knight d4. King takes c5. I think it's okay. We got a knight, what do we call this? A knight sandwich? Some kind of weird Oreo of knights. A knight zebra. Yeah, there's a lot to process here. Like a lot of things are doing things. This knight on e5 actually is pretty well placed. There was a line. What's the line? Like takes king c7. This queen is almost trapped. There's queen f4. I have knights. Oh, knight t3. There's knight takes c5. Oh, that could be bad because I'm pinned. And knight g3 is not even legal in that line. Because I have knight g6. Defending, attacking, and attacking. That crazy game. This all stemmed from someone wanting me to play the French before the game. It was like the first comment I read. Deciding my destiny. Okay, opponent's about to fall below 5 minutes. Oh, totem pole. The equestrian Oreo. Is that already trademarked? Yeah, I think I probably would have just been lost. Like if white takes. Maybe it's still a fight though. I think here it's already a bit trickier for white. Like if my opponent finds this move, they do win material, but I get a lot of counterplay. Knight d3 and bishop b7 are really nice moves. Seizing the initiative. Okay, opponent's below 4 minutes. I guess as white you have to consider this, this. Maybe even some queen retreats, although probably not. Okay, so knight 6 takes c5. I do have a couple options. I can't take because this also comes with check. So I think it's mainly between these two moves. King d8 just doesn't feel right. King c6 actually feels a bit safer. Because neither knight can check me from c6. King c7, there's a pin potential. And this is what I signed up for. Still attacking the queen. And now I think this is actually a small turning point where white's gonna run out of steam because now I have the threat. It's not easy for white to make a counter threat. And if white starts being on the defense, like starts retreating, then I can keep... Oh, okay, that move I completely missed. Like a massive blind spot. Maybe I should have played king c7. Played this move for the lulz. I have to be a little bit more cognizant of what's happening. I can't play bishop d7. I think, okay, I think king c7's a move. Wow. It's certainly not a clean game on my part. King d5. If only this were king of the hill. And the benefit of king d5 is then the knights are tied down to each other. But it's still hard to win one of the knights. If I play king d5, what does white do? Like, there's no good checks, I don't think. I kind of dominate the queen. I guess there is queen h5. I just don't know if I can get myself to play such a move. Like, why am I just castle? And bishop e7 almost traps a queen. If I play this, oh, a4 is randomly hanging. I don't think I really care. And the problem with king c7 is potential for like, but the pawn's pinned. So I was thinking bishop f4 eventually. Looking at a line, let's imagine king c7, castle, bishop b7. Man, there's already a lot of branches. There's takes, knight d6. I just have to play this and just keep surviving. I mean, I want to play this next. I still have a bishop for a pawn. The line I was kind of fantasizing about, imagine castle, bishop e7, knight e6. Looks scary for black, but then I play king b6. And the only safe square for the queen would be h5. I was thinking I have knight f3, but I don't because takes. There's some potential tactics with the fifth rank. Like if the king stays on e1 and we go into this sort of line, then like maybe someday I win the queen. Yeah, there's just so much to process in this game. Opponents below 2 minutes. Unfortunately, this game might be determined by time. There is a 10-second increment, so if my opponent doesn't want to flag, they just have to play faster. It's only my second game of the stream. So white does castle, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. So this, I mean, pieces can come in very quickly. My king is not safe at all. I'm kind of wondering about this move, knight g6. Bishop e7. I'm just realizing, bishop e7, I can take the queen? I do lose a piece. Oh, maybe, I thought I trapped the knight, but there's knight d6. I've just switched from like classical mode to blitz mode. So take. Maybe I still go for that. Like knight d3 in the end. I think that's fine. Queen h5. Knight g6. Okay. And if knight e6, wait, knight e6, king b6. What I was looking at earlier. Queen h5. Oh, then this knight is hanging. I'm second guessing like everything I'm doing though, because like, the fact that I missed queen e8 earlier, it's messing with me. I feel like it broke my confidence. Just trying to be extra sure I don't have any more blind spots. Yeah, I'd actually be happy if white goes for this. Like, even though I lose back the piece, I would be down a pawn. At least my king's not getting mated. And then there's good compensation, I think. Knight d3. So queen h5 immediately, attacking my knight. I have knight g6. Feels like I can breathe a bit more easily now. Bishop has some scope. Pieces actually harmonize decently. Like white setup is maybe a bit more vulnerable, but it's still insane. What a move, d4. If I take? Wait, if I take... Oh, the knight will take. I have to en passant? A crazy move. Take. And I'm pinned. Yeah, takes. My knight's pinned to my queen. I don't have this knight f3 idea. En passant just looks so risky. But maybe necessary. I'm doing it. It does open the c file. But now both bishops stare at both knights. They're both getting very low on time. I think I can take here. If knight takes, I defend the knight. Bishop takes. I have this move. Okay. Rook c1, I take this. Oh dear. Wait, rook c1, I might have d2. And then knight b3, I take. It's a mess. Of course, rook c1's played. I have to go for this. d2 doesn't work. I think I have king b7 after bishop d4. It's heating up even more. I don't have any way to defend my bishop. My bishop's doubly pinned. I have to play king b7. I'm still up a piece. Still under major fire. Queen b4. Attacking the bishop. There's a line rook c1, queen takes bishop, rook c7, king b8. Up two pieces. And maybe not getting mated. At bishop e3, I'm in time to just challenge the rook. Of course, I missed that move, threatening mate in 1, but okay. That's a free queen. For a moment, I got scared there. Didn't immediately see knight takes queen. Crazy game. Like up until queen e5, I wasn't so confident. I'll return the favor. Oh no, my queen. Okay. GG. Maybe slightly anticlimactic. I mean, both of us had to have made at least a few blunders that game. Let's check the engine. Okay, yeah, we both made 2 blunders. I actually made 3 blunders. Wow. So I was better out of the opening. So where did things go wrong? First, I'll just show the engine graph. I was never completely losing. The biggest eval for white was +2 on a couple occasions. Okay, so wait. First of all, oh yeah, I probably should have played bishop d7 and just trade off my bad bishop. c4, 97. Okay, so this is fine for me. This is all fine. And knight g5 was actually a blunder. But I said this during the game, like it's probably not objectively good, but it's still very creative. And what I should have done was definitely not take the bishop. Yeah, somehow I convinced myself to go for this. I should have taken on e5. It's really just better for black. I guess I didn't evaluate this correctly. Because knight and d3 is really strong. I'm down the exchange, but like can't really develop the things on the back rank. I can eventually get my king safe. Thank you to Russman. Yeah, so 95 was best. Queen d4 was second best. I didn't even consider that. But taking was a big mistake. White's better. But then my opponent blunders missing missing knight takes f8. Yeah, we both missed this. And now I'm better again. I was actually doing fine, even though I missed queen e8. It's winning for black. But maybe I didn't play accurately. Knight d3. I just wanted to develop. d4 was a great move. This is still fine. Okay, here. I played king c6 thinking I'm gonna like win one of these things. I missed rook a c1, but apparently it's not a good move. Best move was b4. Wow. Yeah, super tricky game to navigate. And then by the time we got here, I'm doing fine, except I blundered after queen b4. White has bishop c3. Ah, because the rook's defended. Somehow that didn't register in my mind. And this would give white enough time to save everything, keep initiative. Okay. It was probably the messiest game I've played in a long time. Shall I move on? What opening to play next? I'll probably be white next game. I have seen some Grand Prix and Ponziani enjoyers. Ponziani, Catalan, English, Bird. All those openings start with different verse moves. Let's at least get a first move, like e4, d4, c4, f4, knight f3. G4. I have played the London, so probably no more London. Oh, I think I missed a super chat from Ryan Cole Piano. $20 super chat. Thanks so much, Ryan. Who said, I've been watching all your content, all your YouTube content for years and been enjoying live streams recently. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, we have a Pierce, so can't really play the Ponziani. I'll play d4. Yeah, sometimes the opponent also gets to decide what the opening will be. If g6, I'll play my usual, like bishop f4, queen d2, etc. e5 is maybe a bit more common these days to go into some Philidor. Okay, knight d7. Yeah, so white's preparing e5. Or black's preparing e5, I should say. How do I want to do this? I'm going to play the chess mood recommendation, knight e2. There's a whole course on chess mood revolving around this setup for white. There was a chess mood promotion recently. They unlocked their courses, but you can still use my link for 20% off. When it comes to my e4 repertoire, I do use a lot of their recommendations. So the point of this is to get like a really solid setup. Very often black will try and expand. If c6 is played, I'll play pawn a4. And yeah, let's castle. And there's a lot of ways, like with this setup, to gradually improve. Okay, I'll play pawn a4. No b5 for you. So the gradual improvements include h3, bishop e3, queen d2, rook d1, eventually g4, knight g3. Starting with h3. Just ensuring that if I play this, there's not this. Yeah, hopefully this game will be less chaotic than last game. I'm due for a more solid game. Thank you to Killager. Happy 23. I've played the setup a good number of times over the last year. And the tendency I've realized for this opening is usually it starts solid, but eventually it's going to get messy. Like both sides kind of do their own thing in the opening, and then the middle game, there's usually some confrontation. There's a question about 10 years ago, most GMs would agree that H4 is a worst first ply, but now after neural network engines showed a preference for random rook pawn space grabs. Do you think this opinion has changed? Well, on the first move, yeah, you don't want to be pushing your rook pawns, but Yeah, engines have shown that like later in the game, there is value in playing moves like a4, h4. It's usually like very long term to grab space and positional advantage, because it can make a difference like in the end game. So it's definitely influenced like top level play. But I think the worst first move from white is g4, the grab, because it's overly weakening. There's ways for black to try and punish it. Yeah, I'm not sure how many like opening requests I'll be able to fulfill this stream. Less than 90 minutes left in the tournament. This is my third game. So at the very least, I'll go for a different opening every game. First game was London turned into Benoni. Previous game was some weird French. So I forgot to check the opening name. Maybe someone can tell me. This game is a Pierce slash Philidor. Maybe they call it like the Black Lion. I'm actually not sure. Like Bishop E7 versus Bishop G7 might have different names. This might just be more of a Pierce. Welcome back, Obama official. Happy 6 months. Do you know what trace means? Oh, do you know that trace means 3 in Spanish? I did know that. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. Or at least 3 years. I'm not sure about 4 years. I've forgotten a lot of Spanish, but some of it has stayed with me. Yokiro. I forget how to say move. Yokiro e atake. El Rey. A5, I'm not sure if this actually makes sense. Because very often, black will play this move when the knight's still here to play this and this. I think I'll just go for this. I know sometimes like it's not recommended that you push pawns in front of your castled king. But in this case, the setup with knight g3 and pawns here are very solid. I help reinforce e4. It's very common in this line for black to potentially attack e4 at least 3 times. So I can have at least 3 defenders. What was the last time you drank mate? That actually reminds me, I made mate tea. I've been drinking mostly my water, but I do have my mate tea. The tea is called mate latte. There's no milk in it though. I got it from Whole Foods. It's the brand Republic of Tea. Yeah, it seems like with these last moves, my opponent maybe doesn't quite know what to do. Or maybe they're just being influenced by the neural networks. AlphaZero style. Yeah, queen d2 is likely coming next. Apply some pressure to h6. Would likely provoke king h7. There is this idea for black to play knight b6, knight c4. And very often, like if knight b6 were played, I would eventually play b3. I'll start with queen d2, bishop a6, rook e1. Yeah, it should be fine. I think I'll start slowing down around here. There are options. F4 is actually one of the main breaks to go for. Should always keep in mind the capture, which I don't think really helps me. We have time. This is interesting to consider. Takes and then g5. I don't think it's good though, because bishop just goes back. Likewise, g5 immediately. Just trying to get a sense. Like if I play rook a d1, black will probably play this. I play this. Black plays this. Like, am I going for f4 eventually? I guess I am. Honestly, that looks like pretty fine. Now I'm just wondering, like, is there any reason to play f4 first to meet this with this? Does my rook want to be on the f file or e file? Yeah, maybe f4 is more flexible. Takes. Then I can choose, like, after bishop a6 where the rook goes. Okay. I was very close to playing rook a d1 there. It might end up just transposing, but give myself some more options. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, this is the monthly classical arena on Lichess. I joined about 3 hours late, but I'm playing pretty much the final 3 hours of the tournament. I do appreciate everyone tuning in across both platforms. I am live on Twitch and YouTube. This is my second time ever multi-streaming. My third time ever streaming on YouTube. So, yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Appreciate all the positive energy. I think my next stream will be Tuesday morning for Title Tuesday. I actually already scheduled it on my YouTube dashboard, so people can find the scheduled streams on YouTube under the live tab on the channel. And yeah, do let me know if it's your first time watching live. Any first time Twitch or YouTube viewers? Okay, my rook's attacked. I should have probably been thinking on my opponent's time, like where to put my rook. There is the option of taking. Take, it's probably not good. Like if I play rook f2 and black takes here, then I would want my rook on e1. But if I play rook f2 and black takes here, then I want my rook on f file. So Black can kind of choose based on what I do which pawn to take. Well, usually you want your rooks like on files that are likely to open. After here, take. I guess the other rook could come to e1. Knight c5. Yeah, this might just be more intuitive, but I think the rook is better here. Like, even if black takes here, there is potential for the file to become useful. And I'll still keep the option open, like where to put this rook. Because it might be that this rook will be best on e1. I wouldn't have that option if I committed the other rook to e1. So I didn't really point this out, but I did win connect 4. Maybe connect 5 is incoming. Few moves away from connect 8. Oh, I see a few first timers, at least in the YouTube chat. Also, first timer in the Twitch chat. Kill Bill Baggins, welcome, welcome. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to keep up with like both chats, especially during gameplay, but I try my best. Have you tried FPS chess? I have not. I don't even know what that is. First person shooter? Or first person Stafford? Okay, queen c7. So putting the ball back in my court. I have a lot of choices here. Like all these pawn moves are options. Like I don't want to take too long, but like knowing myself, I might take a little bit of time here. I should probably start with the most forcing options. Like takes f5. Takes d5. g5. g5 is speaking to me. Attack the knight. If takes, then I win a pawn. So what does black do? The knight can't retreat. Moving here is ugly. I guess black could take here. Take and then take and then take. But then there's nice pressure. There's f6. Queen f4 comes maybe. Okay. Wanted to save time there. g5 it is. That's another nice benefit of having the knight on g3. Because knight h5 is a bit more discouraged. Black still has options here. I mean, takes a few different pawns are all possible, probably. And then the knight moves are also possible. So this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier, is that the game started with both of us doing our own thing, but now there's some confrontation. This is the first time in the game where I've ventured into my opponent's territory. I thought this was just a blunder. Am I missing anything? Maybe it's my opponent just missing that f7's not defended. As black, you assume that such a pawn is safe. And yeah, it's a little bit too late. That ended kind of abruptly. I gained 3 rating points. I was not expecting the game to end so soon. Hopefully still an instructive opening. If you want to learn more about this, sign up for Chessmood. Chessmood.com/Rosen, I think, is a link to get the discount. Yeah, no Connect 8, unfortunately. But half of Connect 8. So white was doing comfortably here. And taking is just a blunder, but already the queen c7 was actually a mistake. The best move would have been to take and then go into this. This is what I was calculating. Does look nice for white. Okay. Well, moving on. What opening to play next? I'll probably be black again. I played one French already. I don't think I want another French. Dragon, Grunfeld. There was a request earlier for the Dutch. I was going to check if the French line had a name, actually. Real quick. Also sport. No, it's just called French Night Variation. Okay. Should I check my last game too? Oh, this is just a Peert's defense. So Lichess will actually tell you like on the game preview. So Peert's French, Indian. Okay. Oh, I'm white. Okay. I'm white again. I want to play something I haven't played yet. Let's play the English. Someone asked for English earlier. Maybe there's a few more people wanting the English. I'm seeing a few requests for bird. English is basically the bird of the queen side. Thank you, my Alter X. 7 months with Prime. So when I was rated about 2000 OTB, I did go through a phase of playing the English. And this is one of the pet lines I adopted, pawn a3, discouraging the bishop from developing. Bishop c5 is still possible. Black played a5 to slow down b4. But I'm still making it so it's not super attractive for bishop c5 to happen. How are you simultaneously streaming on YouTube and Twitch? Magic. I woke up earlier and I realized I have magical powers. But actually it's just Streamlabs, or not Streamlabs, Restream. Restream.io allows me to put in one stream key into OBS and then connect Twitch and YouTube to my account. It was pretty simple to set up, but yeah, still required some effort. So opponents taking their time. Now there is actually a potential trap here, which I don't want to say in the event that my opponent might be watching, but once my opponent makes the next move, then I can explain. Actually, I think there's 2 potential traps in this position. Yeah, bishop e7 is not walking into any of them. Potential traps were this or this, which I can probably share after the game. It's still pleasant though, d4, contesting the center. I think I'll just play bishop e2. and complete development. Okay, I'll just go ahead and say that if my opponent played bishop c5, then there's a center fork trick. Takes, and d4 is very strong for white. And e4 would just lose the pawn eventually. Queen c2. This is solid for black, but it is a little bit passive. This bishop's not so happy. And I still have these English plans of gaining space. Like very often in the English, there is a middle game plan of playing like b4, b5. Probably have to start with rook b1. Someone in YouTube chat says, tell Twitch viewers I said hello. Okay, Mr. Anosa says hello to Twitch viewers. I'm sure they say hi back. We do have the hi YouTube emote on Twitch. H6. Random, kind of nothing move. No offense to this move, but I mean, maybe black wants to do this and tuck the bishop away. So I could play queen c2. Queen c2 is very standard. I mean, black might go for this stuff. How much do I care? I still like queen c2, preparing rook d1. Don't put words in our mouth. Okay, some people in Twitch chat says or say hi YouTube, hi back. Bishop g4. I want to make tactics work, but they don't quite work just yet. Rook d1. Yeah, rook d1 feels nice. Just aligning with the queen. Maybe induce black to push or take. I also over defend d4 because black was maybe threatening to like take and take and take. So a multi-purpose move. Okay. A good number of people say hi in Twitch chat. There's got to be at least a few people watching like both streams, both chats at once. Hardcore super fans. There's a question. Hey Eric, any advice on how to deal with anxiety to play? I've noticed that the higher my rating goes, the more I fear to play. Yeah, I think that's actually kind of normal for chess players. Like when you're playing at higher levels and there's more pressure. I think sometimes what allows you to play your best chess is when you fully detach yourself from rating and just immerse yourself with the game, try and play to learn rather than really playing to gain rating. And sometimes that can help reduce anxiety. It's also like a good long-term approach for like learning and growing. But sometimes a little bit of anxiety is actually a good thing because then that causes you to like be a bit more careful, like blunder check. You just don't want to be like physically shaking during games and yeah, you want some balance. Okay, queen c8, so I mean, if I play h3, I'm not scared of the sack. Bishop f5, e4. There's also knight d5. Also pawn d5. Like I've analyzed similar positions before, and very often there's positions like this where the engine will say pawn d5 is the best move. But it's not really a move I want to play. It just feels like it makes life easier for black to have the center fixed. So I guess it's a question, like, do I play h3? Do I do something with this pawn? Do I play rook b1? I should look into knight d5. Because if takes, that's actually looking really nice for white. Then the c file opens, e5 becomes a target. It's like takes, knight b8. Yeah, that should be good. I guess there's e4. But then e4, I take, bishop f5, queen f4. I don't think my queen gets trapped. All right, I'm going to go for this. There's another typical move, like when you play the English opening, you naturally control the d5 square. In this case, it's not really an outpost. Like the knight can be removed. There's a pawn here, but I still apply pressure. I'm trying to transform the position into something even more favorable for white. Since when is 20 plus 10 classical? Yeah, it's just how Lichess classifies the time control. I'm not sure what the cutoff is. Like 10-0 is rapid. I think 15-0 is also rapid. There was a time where I think 10-0 and 20 plus 10 were the same rating on Lichess. They called it standard. Like I'm pretty sure there were just three, okay, maybe like three main rating categories between Blitz, Bullet, and Standard. Of course, there's like Ultra Bullet too. Yeah, at some point there was a separation, like Standard breaking into Rapid and Classical. Now, when we're talking about over-the-board chess, I think the minimum time control to be classical FIDE rated is, I think it's 60 plus 30. I think that because that's what the time control is going to be for this upcoming St. Louis event. The players are playing 3 games in one day, 1 blitz, 1 rapid, and 1 classical. Wow. Bishop f5. Okay. There's a lot of moves to consider. Like e4 comes to mind as something to calculate. I could take the bishop, even though like this is probably black's worst piece. Long term, it could be nice to have the bishop pair. I mean, of course, there's also like queen c3 or bishop d3. There's also this, and e4. I don't even know what move to start by calculating. Let's calculate e4. So bishop e4 loses a piece because I take with check. Knight takes e4 is probably more critical. The thought is to take, and then bishop d3. And to be honest, I'm not so confident in my calculation abilities, but that looks like it wins a piece. Oh no, it doesn't, because the thing's defended. Oh, so maybe I can just, like, knight takes and then bishop d3 immediately. Yeah, that should win a piece. e4, knight e4, bishop d3. Just make sure, knight g3, I just take it. Yeah, so I think I can comfortably say that the pawn can't be taken. a3 is useful in restricting knight moves. Knight d4 doesn't work. Okay, so if black can't take the pawn, then the bishop has to move. And wherever the bishop moves, I take, and win a pawn. Is it that simple? There is knight takes d5, but then I take, and then two things are hit. Okay. Yeah, it was one of the first moves that came to mind. I just intuitively to keep initiative. Hopefully the calculations are working out. Now, there's a lot going on here, like a lot of tension, knights are staring at each other, d4 is attacked and defended. But the two, like, I guess, key takeaways here is I'm threatening this, and I'm threatening to take and then win e5. And black can't take e4 because of tactics. Oh, but maybe my opponent's trying to prove me wrong. Am I missing something? It's a skewer. Wow. So f5. It's a cool resource. I don't think it works, but it's still kind of cool. So I think I'll just take and then check. I didn't see this coming, but that should be fine. I almost have knight h4, but not quite. Yeah, like if I retreat, then I lose back the piece. But if I go forward, yeah, I'm just up a piece here. We'll analyze after the game if anything was missed. Ooh, still some compensation. The opponent's being resourceful. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't quite see this. I have to be careful. Queen b3. There's not too many options, actually. It's a question, do I want to tie down black to c7 or b7? Maybe queen c4, just so I have access to f1. Like I'm imagining lines where black gets in e4, f3, and queen h3 with g3 included, and then this can help defend. I also stay aligned with the king. Like maybe there's cases where I like sack and push. I think things are under control. Oh, thank you, Chess Dojo. Appreciate the raid. Oh my gosh. I just glanced at chat. I missed a free bishop. Well, I can't go back in time. I trusted my opponent. Well, the bishop was just hanging. I was so taken aback by the discovery. I didn't even check that. Wow. Oh, that's pretty bad. Okay. Usually why I don't look at chat like during my moves. I guess I don't deserve to have like such an easy victory now. It's still fine. Like, okay, knight h4, I attack the bishop. Rook e1. Wait, I have to be really careful actually. Queen g4 is coming. Ooh. Do I have to play this or this? It's ugly, but maybe necessary. Knight e1? And then like f3 if I get the chance. I think it's still fine. I guess I've made the game a little bit more interesting. Oh no, my free bishop. Move my queen. Queen back to c2 would be a funny move. But queen c2, there'd be queen g4, and yeah, that would be pretty bad for white. Yeah, I think it's okay. Like f3 will come, maybe even g3, and then bishop can someday develop. Hey, thank you, Scooby. Yeah, the free bishop gambit. What to do? I guess what happened, like I already was up a piece. I was in this mindset to just like be grateful for the meal I consumed and not consume more. But in chess, there should not be the concept of getting full, especially when you're offered continuous free food. Now, I would have liked to just end the game and maximize the number of games I get to play. Okay, I think f3. Like rook d2 is a little bit too awkward. f3 does allow e3. But then, okay, at least things close down. Yeah, this is also kind of awkward because this is coming. I have to play like b3, bishop b2, I guess. No, this still takes a lot of work to win. So I'm still getting what I deserve. G4? G4 actually is kind of interesting. Probably not good though. What about b4? b4 take, take. Maybe b4 take and then bishop b2. I might be slightly tilted now. Playing overly aggressively. But the plan is to gambit the pawn. I'm trying to deflect focus away from the king side and to the queen side. Black is trying to close down the queen side. Yeah, this bishop is actually like pretty trash. along with my knight. But the one plan here is to double, maybe even triple up against this pawn. I mean, I'm ready to play rook c1. Black could easily defend. And then eventually I want to like reconfigure, like maybe here and then here and then here and then here. Because it is a backward pawn. Okay, now, now I'm extra aware that this bishop's not defended. It's not takeable though. I think me and my opponent have probably learned our lessons. Do you have the idea of playing b5? b5 would potentially threaten b6. Also, I think black probably should have thrown in g5. Like black should be trying to get some attack before I get my own attack. Yeah, rook f7, expected. If I play this, queen moves, queen d7. It does give me a square for the queen. Also considering just rook c3 immediately, which blocks the bishop, but the bishop is already blocked. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. Because I'm not sure if I actually want to play b5 or if I want to like do some more maneuvering. So now the one downside is my queen leaves the battery. So I can't actually like, take the pawn. So I might just go for like queen. I still can't take the pawn. Queen e2 here. Not only unleashing the rook, but also over defending the knight. So after takes and takes, the knight's still defended. And black might have to do something awkward like rook c8. And then maybe queen d1. Oh, but then I get mated. Oh dear. Wait, was black threatening? Okay, only if I play queen d1 do I get mated. Black has ideas though. Wow. Opponent wants to hurt me. I'm gonna have to play h3. Opponent offers a draw, which I don't want. I do kind of have to calculate. Knight d3. g4? As crazy as it seems, g4 might be a decent move. I should start with the critical line takes. Rook here. And then like g4 on passant. Queen g2. Super risky. So h3. Also the idea of playing like h3 allows queen g3. All right, let's just calculate. Okay, rook c7, rook h5, h3, queen g3. Rook h3 is a threat. Rook c8, take king h7. Is there any defensive resource there? Maybe not. What I could do is sack my knight on f4. Which at this point doesn't seem so unreasonable. Like knight d3, rook h5, h3, queen g3, knight f4, queen f4, queen e3. Not really what I want, but maybe what I need. Wait, I'm playing this first. Let's play h3 first, which is still probably okay. Let's start with this. Yeah, I was criticizing my opponent earlier for not playing g5, but yeah, this might actually be a more effective attacking idea. So the draw has been declined. If I end up sacking my knight for the 2 pawns, I'll be up a pawn. Yeah, allowing all these moves. Mm-hmm. Didn't quite see that coming. I have this move. I could also still maybe take d4 hangs. Yeah, this is a big mess. If I take on c7, queen g3, and then I take, getting into very murky territory. So take, I think I'm most concerned about takes queen g3. Even takes queen f2 is a move. Yeah, maybe I just have to take. Take. c7 will fall. There's a resource. Okay, I don't want to say the resource actually, but there's a cute little trick. I'm gonna go for this. I could have been up 2 pieces earlier. Now I'm giving back my extra knight to be up a pawn. Black still has so much attacking potential. But I have counter-attacking potential. Down a bit of time. Down almost 4 minutes. I mean, black has to take the knight. Like, there's no other option. And there's some pros and cons. Okay, now I take on e3. Yeah, one of the pros of rook takes is, yeah, now there's more pieces ready to try and hurt me. There's also this possible move, but I would actually love if black takes here, then the bishop has life. That's probably just winning for white, like pretty easily. But there's still this idea, like queen g3 and rook h3. Or that. g4 looks kind of cute. Doesn't work though, because queen g3. So the resource that I have in mind is queen e6. Do I play it now or do I wait a move? Okay, so I should calculate. Takes. Rook g2 doesn't work, right? Okay, so takes. Queen e6, I force a trade. Still have a pawn. There's rook f3. But then I check, force king h7. There might be rook f8, actually. Rook f8. But then rook f8 really work? e7. Take king f7. Oh no, but then I queen. There's rook e8. I think that's still much better for me though. So one more time. Takes. Check, take. King h7. Yeah, I think it's enough. I have a very strong pawn. And there's not too many other options either. Yeah, what I was hoping for like earlier was queen g3 takes rook h3 and then queen e6 winning the rook. Of course, this is much more complicated. I'm just realizing, do I have rook g7? Oh, this could get spicy. Probably not, but maybe. Queen h3, rook g7, king g7, queen e7. My idea would be to take on g5 and then win back the queen. The problem with that, I think we're just trading into a ending that's harder to win. Bishop f5. It's a move I was not predicting, but yeah, very logical looking. I have queen f2. Doesn't appear to work. What if, no, taking doesn't work either? But that's actually really strong looking. I might actually lose this. How to defend? Queen f2, take. Huh. Do I have to play this? If I check, I'm running out of time too. Take. Queen e8 check. Queen e7? No. Queen e1. I'm not sure. Take. I could run with the king, like king f1. King f1, take, 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 take. Check. Run to c3. Opponent's played well. I might have to play rook c2. Just get back material. I'm actually going to be down material, but I feel like I have to defend g2. Check, king h7, check. Really not sure. That's not pretty. And this might be... Actually, this I just take the rook. I think. And take, take. If this... It's hard to get to the black king. If this, maybe I just play bishop c1. Just realized the board size is off. I don't think I'm going to be looking at chat for the rest of the game. Just too much pressure here. Just going to try and stay focused. Severely low on time. Opponent, I feel like bishop takes c2 is probably coming, but then at least I can more easily defend. I would have bishop and 2 pawns for rook. And the bishop can maybe reroute. I should have maybe considered the checks first, but it should be similar. Yeah, the bishop wants to do things to these pieces, but it's so bad on b2. Like, if the bishop could teleport to h2, that would be so nice. Wow. Rook f3's idea. Check. Oh, it gets so messy. Might have to play rook f2. I'm looking at like the rook checks. Rook c8's tempting. Rook c8, king h7. Check. e6. Take, check. I just don't see the win. Rook c8. Maybe I have like... I'm gonna go for rook c8. No, 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 no. I meant to play rook c8. I played bishop c1? Not the worst mouse slip. I don't even know how I mouse slipped this intending this. Oh. It's not a bad looking move. Not a move I thought anything about though. But now I'm forced to deal with my new reality. I was wanted to play rook c8 and attack. Oh no. So rook c8 here? Yeah, this is just a worse version. Maybe I can like sneak out a draw somehow. Opponent's not moving instantly here. Doesn't look good. Oh, wow. Well played. I'm losing. Opponent wants a draw? It's made in 2. Do I take the mercy draw? I mean, the nice thing about when they offer a draw on their turn, I can at least wait until I see what their next move is. I mean, I get mated if I make my move. It was very confusing. I lose some rating for that. Oh, I mean, this could have all been avoided if I just spot the free bishop. I was not doing this purposely for content. I just assumed the bishop was defended. It's like one of these things. I think partly because I just didn't anticipate f4 even as an option for black. Yeah, let's analyze a little bit. First of all, the opening was, I think, quite nice, quite comfy. E4 was the best move. Yeah, I just won a piece. I missed a free bishop. And then it was difficult. White's still objectively for choice. B4 is actually the best move. Your bishop G6 is fine. Yeah, maybe I didn't play accurately around here. Rook C1 looks so natural though. Rook F5. Yeah, I didn't realize like how annoying this idea is. Still playable. Okay, I should have played rook takes e3 apparently. And then this was a big blunder. And then bishop c1. I intended rook c8, which is still losing though for white. What was I gonna play? Queen, yeah, queen d3? Wow, rook g6. Self-pin for the win. Like Ding Liren. I guess I just don't have a good follow-up here. I could still try and like hunker down, but... Okay, do I do one more? Tournament is nearing its conclusion. I think I'll do one more to try and wrap things up. I'm undefeated, but last game feels like a small defeat. One more opening to... I assume the next game will probably be my last game. If there's any final opening people want me to play, I'll probably be black. The last two games I was white. So I have not taken the draw. Yeah, it felt a little bit strange, but what to do? Stafford Gambit time? Okay, Stafford Gambit time. Try and end on a happy note. At least a fun note. I might get punished for this. We'll see. Opponent is like decently high rated here. Opponent's taking their time. Okay, so maybe they're judging major life decision. D4, okay. So no Stafford Gambit. D4 is like a topical main line in the Petrov. Unfortunately, here I have to like go into one of the main lines. So knight takes e5 is playable. I'm not sure what the d6. More common is bishop d3 here. Actually, not sure of the theory. D6. I'm worried about Queen h5. I don't think that works because I have king e7. Okay, I'll go for d6. Because there's another line. Like there's takes, d6, go back, take, and then d4. And then d5. So we could actually transpose into the main line, I think. Okay, but I think we're both out of like opening prep here. My opponent's probably calculating knight f7. Like at first it looks almost promising, but queen f3 walks into knight f6, and then queen h5 like almost wins back the knight. Because g6, I would lose back the knight. King g, I would get mated. But I'm pretty sure there's king e7. So now it's the question here, like, do I want to play this? I think that's some kind of main line. We transpose, right? Like, we can go back again. Because it's takes, d6, go back, take d4, and then d5. Yeah. I'm pretty sure g6 is also a move here. I'll play the main line, d5. So somehow I'm getting tricked into like a mainline Petrov, which usually I don't play because I play Stafford Gambit. But there's still some like minor imbalance. Even though the pawns are symmetrical, my knight's a bit more active. Yeah, usually it like kind of revolves around white trying to pressure the center. I don't know any theory beyond this. I thought bishop d3 is played first. Do I have bishop b4 now? Usually bishop b4 looks really nice. Yeah, c4 may have been a little bit too soon. Knight d2. Do I pin all the knights? Good castle. Yeah, sometimes like there are big differences between the move I choose. Such a position. Like bishop g4. Would expect bishop e2. I'm trying to figure out like if I can actually win the pawn eventually on c4. Castle. I think I should just castle though. Because I'm not sure. Like there might be cases where my bishop goes to f5. But also be cases where I would just want to get rook e8 ASAP. Another way to like think about the approach is if I play this, and bishop e2 is like such an easy decision. But when I castle, it gives white more options and potentially more ways to go wrong. Like bishop d3 looks natural here, but then maybe I play bishop g4. Okay, so white's still being safe. Yeah, I think that's still the best move. Now I'm wondering, like, can I take the pawn? And then if takes and I do things on the e-file, not so sure if that actually works. Well, let's try it. So knight's pinned. The bishop could take, but then white essentially loses time. If white castles, then maybe I save the pawn. Like maybe I take. Like there could be a big trade, but eventually I have b5. If knight takes, I would have queen d4. Yeah, it could get interesting. Like very typical type of situation. Okay, this came from a Petrov, but this can also come from like French or Budapest. I guess I'm thinking about the Budapest decline. Now you see the same structure. What's the ambulance icon for? Sometimes I ask someone to call an ambulance. It's just a common saying, but yeah, it's my Lichess flair. Usually the ambulance is not for me though. So bishop takes e4. So again, I have options. I have rook e8, which probably is too risky because like f7. Bishop g4 actually looks nice. So if white wants to break the pin against this knight, they can play bishop e2, but that's already the third time moving the bishop. Otherwise, I'm probably threatening to take on d2 and then double the pawns. Like, I don't think it's good for white to castle. If I take, bishop would have to take, and then I take here. The queen takes, I win this. Pawn takes, then I take here even. Yeah, white's going to have a tough choice here. Like castle or bishop e2, both moves don't look so attractive. Queen b3 maybe? Unpinning this knight, but then knight c6 applies more pressure. Queen b3 is played. I have a few options. I could just take on d2. Knight takes d2. And then just try and win the pawn on d4. Yeah, knight c6 is probably also fine, but I think this just wins the pawn. If queen b4, I take on f3. If knight d2, maybe throw in this, but okay, I could just take and then win d4. If bishop d2, it's, yeah, very similar. Yeah, this is almost certainly the last game. 8 minutes left. We both have a lot of time. Maybe I can win quickly here. Queen d4. Wait a minute. Rookie would take away white's casting rights, but leave f7 undefended. All right, so let's just take. Oh no. I forgot b7's not defended. Counterattack my rook. Someone call an ambulance. Hopefully not for me, though. Yeah, white can't castle either way. Queenside castling is illegal. Kingside castling is legal, but loses the bishop. Okay. Yeah, my opponent is definitely not stream sniping. Unless they like calculated some like crazy line to checkmate me, which is not going to happen. So maybe I will get another game before the tournament ends. If I do, it won't count for the tournament. Okay, so yeah, let's save the rook. Yeah, actually, if bishop f7, I'd probably just play king h8 there. Make sure the rooks are connected. So hopefully this game I can convert up a piece. I do have this. Like, this doesn't win the bishop, but it trades the bishops. There's also this, and then win b2 and then checkmate. Yeah, let's go for this. I mean, white can maybe defend, but at least we're simplifying. Still trying to figure out if I can win the queen piece. Like, this is kind of interesting, but the queen's coming back to g3 regardless, so I'll take. And assuming queen g3, I check and win the bishop. I'll lose back my bishop. Maybe I'll win the h2 pawn. And I got an extra horsey. So given this construction for white, my dream is to smother mate. Get my knight here, queen on this diagonal. Kind of far away from that, but it's a bucket list item for this game. Maybe there will be some back rank tactics. White's probably gonna maybe fight, play h3 at some point. Get the knight in. Knight e4 is a nice square. Did I blunder with d6 on move 4? I'll check after the game. Ah, king e7, queen e2. Maybe it is playable for white to take on f7 there. It is possible I messed up in the opening. It's a line I don't run into too often. But life is pretty good now. Knight's finding a happier place. I do have to watch out my back rank. We don't want any accidents. I do have to watch out for the sacrifice. Like if I play queen e2, then I get mated. So let's win another pawn. Keep everything safe and sound. Yeah, a lot of things defending f7. Okay, this game I don't think is going to count for the tournament. Unless white resigns in the next 30 or so seconds. Yeah, knight d2 may have been playable. I didn't consider it. Knight d2, queen f4. I don't think it actually wins material. Okay, let's go back. I just want to make Luft. Maybe f5 actually. f5 would be nice to get the outpost. Like there's a few different mating patterns with king on h1 and pawns on h2, g2. I want to allow rook d7. I would happily allow rook d7. So of course, most common mating pattern is back rank. Then there's smother mate with the queen and knight. There's also the mate where you have the queen on this diagonal and you play knight g3, you sack the knight, and then you mate with the rook on the file. Oh, hey, it's Philip's Flight Club. Gifting 10. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. We are nearing the tail end of the stream, but the question still remains: can I achieve this smother mate? I'm getting closer. Getting closer. Threatening a fork. Also, thank you, Burak Bulis. First time Prime. Again, I didn't really put much thought into knight d2, but knight d2, queen f4, and like, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, we might be in for a long haul. Oh dear. What have I done? Oh, I played f5. I wasn't aware of the danger. I don't even have knight f2 here. Knight c3, I get pinned. Oops. Okay. Let's not mess this up. Even though I already kind of messed up. There. I just play h6. I play this. Queen b6. Maybe a5. Oh, yeah. Rook c8. Rook c8. Like some queen e6. I think rook c8 still like has some practical value. But then f5 is weak. Objectively, I shouldn't be much worse here. I should still probably be playing for a win. I just made things a lot harder for myself. Queen e3. So rook c8, queen e6. That's kind of annoying, actually. Play this. Here's just a5. Feeling the chest fatigue. The problem is I don't have any tricks. a5. a5, rook a8. Queen d5 is coming. I'm gonna regret this. I'm allowing moves here, but it's okay. Keep fighting. Opponent's low on time. Or at least getting lower on time. So what did I do? I played queen c5, just fantasizing about checkmating, missing the board geometry. Kudos to my opponent for punishing me. Yeah, a few moments ago I said we're approaching the tail end of the stream, but the stream might just be beginning. Or this game is just beginning, turning into a fight now. Okay, to be honest, this is kind of what I was hoping for. But the problem is I don't think this actually works. Ugh. It doesn't work. Does it? No. I mean, it forces a draw, but I don't want to draw. I should play like queen here. Queen b6 maybe? Queen b6. Yeah, the problem with this is king g1. Like, I don't have anything. Knight h3, king h1. The smother mate doesn't work because queen controls f2. Mm. Queen e3. Yeah, we're simplifying completely too. Queen b6. I have so much regret right now. Chess is brutal. Very unforgiving. There is no reason to play a5. Stemming from a little bit of tilt. a6. There. Trying to see if there's a difference. All right, if I want to play for a win, I should probably just accept the draw. Like, um, objectively, it's probably just a draw. It's a funny repetition. Wait, am I losing f5 in that line? Take, take. Maybe I am. Maybe I have to play this. The queen doesn't have a great place. Queen c6. Mm. I'm trying to set up tricks, but I'm not seeing any tricks. Give me queen here. The scariest looking move. So the benefit of this is there's still potential for knight f2. There's potential for knight c3 or queen h6. So at least it's kind of centralized. I'm really not proud of what I've done. Thank you earlier to Father Wubby, also Hartwig. Appreciate the subs. I'm definitely still going to try and win somehow. Somehow, some way. Opponent has a choice to make. A lot of different ways to take a pawn here. So now, check there, check. Here, there. Check there. Okay. At some point, I'm probably going to have to play g6 and then like defend f5. And maybe play queen g7. Yeah, so this is like clearly bad. This is interesting. Queen a3, okay. Oh, that hits my rook. Okay, so I probably have to play this. Queen b2 is coming. Yeah, there's not too many other options. g5. I have to play this. As much as I don't want to. Is any... I can't rook lift though. Knight d6 doesn't work. Queen f6 also doesn't look good. Okay. So the problem with g6 is now my king is exposed on the diagonal. So we might end up trading queens, and then my hopes and dreams of like smother mating are going to be long gone. Unless white plays rook g1, then that's probably not going to happen. I should know g6 defends f5 and f8. There's another random benefit of my queen being on h6. Wow. Opponent might just be going for mate. It's actually a kind of scary move. I should probably move my rook, like rook e8. Feels like the most logical. But then queen b2. Oh dear. Okay, 7 is actually kind of strong looking. This move. Hmm. Yeah, the problem is my queen is tied down. So I don't have too many options here. Pretty much have to move my rook. King move doesn't help at all. Rook b8. Yeah, queen e7. Yeah, rook b8. So I do prevent the checks, controlling the two checking squares on the diagonal. At some point, I might just be trying to fight for a draw, though, and my king is so exposed. As long as my queen is here, I don't see how white mates me. Queen e7, queen e5, king here. Okay, I guess there's some issue with like, okay, if the queen gets to e5, then that's bad. I don't think I'm even threatening this. And there's the idea of like takes and rook b1, but then knight f2, there's king g1. But maybe I can rotate the knight. I guess the other idea is to try and trade queens. Wait, do I have this move? This looks like a move. I don't know if it works though. King g1. King g1, knight e2. We repeat. That's super frustrating. I mean, I can try and take. I think I have to try this though here. And knight gets e2. Might just be a draw. That's kind of sad. Drawing is better than losing, right? I mean, the other option is like rook g8, but then queen b2. I'm not winning that. Or am I? I'm probably not. So the last option is going for this. Check and then there. Yeah, there's really not too many options here. Knight f2 no longer is a move. As much as I want to make like the back rank ideas work, So realistically, my options are knight g3, rook takes rook, or rook g8. I think knight g3 is just a draw, though. Rook g8. I mean, I think most of these options like can force a draw pretty easily. I'm not sure which option gives me the best winning chances. Maybe it's like takes and king g7 and check there, check. Yeah, I think I take. Knight g3 just doesn't work. Although this might be losing, like, I have to be really careful. Knight g3. Should I just end it? This is a draw. If I play this, there's like, I can't fight for a win. There. All right, let's play this. This might actually be losing too. Now I'm just realizing. It's not like super trivial, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just realizing I can't move my king to the f file because queen takes e4. I have to play this. And the rook's, oh no, the rook's gonna come in. Although, okay, if check, I block. What's happening? Yeah, white has full control if they want to repeat or play for a win. What if I play this? So crazy. I don't think it changes much. Well, maybe it does. Um, let's try it. Trying to avoid the threefold. It's still going to be a draw, though, I think. Unless white somehow finds a way to win. I might be over pushing here. I'm trying to take this into blitz territory where my opponent's slightly lower rated. Probably won't help me that much. I'm giving white options. A lot of legal moves here. Okay, I have the time advantage now. And it's really going the full distance. Okay, opponent forces me to do this. Okay, I think they just want to draw. I have this move? Wait a minute. How bad is this? There. Again, I can't move to that file. Wait, this might actually be losing. Wait, I might actually be losing here. Like, oh dear. Okay, let's try and just draw at this point. Is white gonna find it? I could offer a draw. Oh, I could claim a draw. Opponent could claim it too. I'll let them claim it. Okay. GG. I think it's winning for white after queen e5. Yeah, white's actually completely winning. So my hope was that white would blunder this, thinking they're mating, but I'm mating. It's a funny mating pattern. But white could have put the queen here, stopping knight g3, and then move the rook. I realized this towards the end that, yeah, black's in trouble. Because queen f8, there's still rook b8. Okay, GG. Not the highest quality. Wow, I had this position. I dropped a whole rook. Oh dear. And then a5 was also not a good move. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Oh yeah, I should analyze this opening too. There is someone in chat very persistent saying knight f7 was good for white. It would be good if I take. So initially I was calculating this, and I had missed queen e2. But there's queen e7 here. And white was actually just losing. It's kind of cool. I don't think I've analyzed this before. Yeah, many blunders from both of us. So I'll end it there. Thanks everyone for watching on Twitch and on YouTube. I'll be back in the future. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It does help the algorithm. If you're watching on Twitch, I'll probably find someone to raid, but I'm going to end it here. Thanks again. Stay tuned for the next stream, which will be Tuesday, the morning, Title Tuesday. It's already scheduled on YouTube. And goodbye.